Hey, welcome everybody. How you doing? I am Jim, and we're here. We're going to be doing. Let me see. Can I pull this over here? Yes. So I'm looking at you. All right. So hey, I'm Jim. I am a pest control technician in New York, and I'm putting together a resource for new home buyers. People, it's going to be home buying season soon. Spring's going to come. Everybody's going to be looking for their first home. People are going to be looking for homes. And they're going to be panicking about wood destroying insects, carpenter ants, termites, carpenter bees, and whatnot. What do you look for? How can you be sure that you're not buying a house that has a problem? Maybe people are already living inside it. So that's what we're doing. And this is going to be like a Q&A session. And we're going to try and figure out what needs to be in this resource to help people. I'm going to go through some slides and some things that I have prepared. And if you think of anything that you would like to pose a question on, just put it in the chat. There's a little bit of delay in the chat, so give me a chance to catch up to it. But we're going to, for sure, answer all the questions and get to what we're talking about. So this is the Northeast Home Buyers Pest Inspection course. Protect your biggest investment by spying termites, rodents, and more, right? So what do you need to know before buying a home? Buying a home is an exciting milestone, but before you get too attracted to that charming fixer-upper, it's time for a reality check. Pests might already be living in there rent-free. And this course will help you spot potential pest nightmares before you sign the dotted line. Now, thousands of dollars of potential damage could be carpenter ants, termites, carpenter bees. What to look for. The problem with the home inspection. Okay, you pay for the home inspection. First of all, he's being hired by the homeowner. Okay, so he's favoring the homeowner. The agent, real estate agent, even though you think he's working for you, he's working for the homeowner. He's not working for you, and they may or may not tell you everything they know about the home. As far as past pest problems and stuff like that. So, take that with a grain of salt. You really need to do your own due diligence and know what you're looking at when you're looking around a home. And now when I pull up to a home that has pest issues, I look at the house. I look at it from far away. I see if there's trees hanging over it, if there's shadows hanging over it, is there any moss on the roof? Are there any dormers? Are there any areas around the home that stick out that are what we call conducive conditions? Conducive conditions are things that make your house favorable, attractive to pests. Things like bird feeders too close to the house, stacking wood piles up too close to the house, against the house, and whatnot. So these are all things that we're going to go over, conducive conditions that make the house conducive, attractive to pests. And what we use for our method of pest control is called IPM. It's integrated pest management, which is chemical and non-chemical means to control the pest issues that you're having. Now, chemical and non-chemical, you're going to start by doing non-chemical stuff, meaning your landscaping, your gutter system, all these things that are going to take moisture away from your house. Most of your problems with pests, moisture is going to be the problem first, right? There's going to be moisture issue first, and the pests are going to come afterwards. Okay, so we're going to check into that. We're going to share the screen, and let me see if I can do that. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, so what do you need to know, right? So we just went over all of that good stuff. What do you need to know? All right, now these are carpenter ants here. Like I said, your real estate agent may not be working for you. Okay, your real estate agent may be working for the seller, and they may or may not tell you everything that you may need to know about the house, whether it past pest issues and whatnot like that. Okay, so you got to do your due diligence. What can you see, and how to shop for a home with pest prevention in mind. You got to be the home inspector. You got to hang out with a magnifying glass before you fall in love with the crown molding and the open concept kitchen. You check the signs for past or present infestations. If a pest has been partying in the walls, they're not going to leave on their own. Okay, and that's a fact. right? So you're going to be walking around, you're going to be looking. If you may want to take some binoculars with you, what I like to do is take pictures far away with my cell phone, and I can blow it up and I can zoom in on the photos and see, this part of the house, that part of the house, the roof line, the dormers. We're going to go over all of these things coming up. So identifying conducive conditions that attracts pests. Okay, moisture issues, leaky pipes, standing water, clogged gutters create the ultimate pest watering holes. If there's excess moisture, you might as well hang a pest welcome sign. Okay, now, so let's talk about that. Leaky gutters, clogged gutters, you want to remove the moisture, even where the gutters let the water out around your home. If your home isn't graded the proper way, you want to have, ideally, you want to have a foot of stone around your house. You don't want to have the mulch up against the house. You want to have about a foot of stone up against the house as like a no man's land to keep, and of course, 2 feet off the house, all bushes, all shrubs, and all trees. Okay, you don't want what we like to call natural bridges. Okay, a natural bridge is something that will go over any pest control that you do around the base of your house, and it's a natural bridge that's going to make your house, accessible to pests. Okay, wood piles and bird feeders, firewood stacked against the house, and that's crazy. Okay, first of all, you're inviting carpenter ants right up to your house, and you're getting a nice little harborage area for mice and other rodents. Okay, termites also are designed to find these piles of wood and break them down. That's what they're designed to do. So you don't want to have that stuff close to your house. Keep that at least 10 feet from the house. Okay. Overgrown shrubs and trees. We just went over vegetation touching the house. It's a super highway. We like to say natural bridge. Okay. Keep the trees pinned back and the shrubs under control. And I know that's difficult. People like to keep it wild, no mow May and all of that kind of stuff. Be smart. Be smart about it. Okay. So here we go. We got a couple of conducive conditions that we can show you here. So up here on the top left is the wood around the house, up against the house. First of all, it can also hold moisture, right? And you'd be surprised how often we get calls in the middle of winter, people bringing in firewood, and all of a sudden they have ants in their house, carpenter ants that were in the wood. Okay. You don't want to have this stuff. If you're burning it regularly, one thing, you don't want to leave it there all the time. Okay. You don't want to leave it there all the time. Gutters leaking or clogged, you got to remove the moisture from the house. All right. Bird feeders too close to the house. Now, of course, bird feeders are, everybody wants to see the birds. It's the beautiful thing. Everybody loves the birds, but they're going to drop stuff down on the bottom. And the rodents, chipmunks, mice, rats, squirrels, as you know, they're going to congregate underneath the bird feeder. You don't want them close to your house because, especially squirrels, once they're used to getting fed somewhere and they get taken away, squirrels get aggressive and they'll chew their way into your house for sure. Like here in the middle, we got the shrubs touching the foundation. You don't want that because you can't do an effective pest control with the shrubs touching the house. Overhanging limbs of trees hanging over it. Okay. You got your flying squirrels, you got your regular squirrels, you got, just about anything ants can get onto your house from up that way. Now this over here on the bottom right is something we call soil siding contact. There's no foundation exposed here. So termites can go right in, no exposure. They can go right up into the house and you can't see them. The same thing with carpenter ants, any kind of pest, spiders, millipedes, anything is going to get up into the house without you having that foundation. You want to have that foundation around the house, okay? Foundation and inspection of entry points. You're going to look for cracks, gaps, signs of gnawing around the foundation. Mice can squeeze through the holes size of a dime. Don't make it easy for them. Also, check for siding, soil contact. Termites love it when the wood and soil shake hands. Termites love that. Okay, that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to find that. Okay, and we got some more siding, soil contact here. We got some cracks and gaps in the foundation. This is your siding and the foundation. There's always spaces under here that they can get up. We seal that with copper mesh and caulking and expandable foam under here. Again, you've got your foundation where they get in under, and of course your siding, soil contact. Very bad. Okay, and this gutter probably is not in a good shape either where that is. All right. Now, basement and crawl space inspections. Basement and crawl spaces are primary areas for pests. Checking for standing water, mold, rodent droppings, or suspicious chewed up insulation. If it smells musty or funky, that's a clue that moisture and pests might be an issue there. Okay. So, you can see discolorations of mold and discolorations of water damage could be mold. Okay. Now, under your crawl space, this looks pretty clean. You might say, hey, that's pretty nice, clean crawl space. You want to have a moisture barrier down here on the bare dirt so that the moisture can't just come up and get to your. So you notice that the floor is not insulated here. So that moisture, that cold is just going to come right up under there. Okay, so you want to have a vapor barrier there. Same thing under here. Okay, you're going to check for cracks. Up in here, this is your basement. Okay, this is your sill plate in the basement. You're going to check up in here for signs of carpenter ants, mice. The mice are going to come in on the foundation. Well, all pests are going to come in on the foundation, and they're going to start up in here in the basement. Okay, that's what. So you're going to get them on the outside foundation and on the sill plate in the basement. That's going to be your line of defense for control, for prevention. All right, we'll talk about that later. Attic inspection. Okay, your attic might be doubling as a squirrel condo or a bat cave. You can check for droppings, chewed wires, nesting materials. Also, if there's mold, it means there's a moisture problem, which means more pest problems down the road. Okay, so let's take a look at some attics. Here we go. The chimney right there. The chimney. We got some bat guano right down here. Okay, wear a mask when you go up into the attic. By the way, squirrels. Okay, squirrels are going to damage your attic. Okay, now they're going to also make holes like this one here. They chewed that hole right through the soffit. Okay, they chewed that hole. All right, this doesn't bend up by itself. Squirrels bent that up, and this is your eave, your gable vent, right? And of course, mice chewing on wires and the mouse droppings. Okay, now all signs. As you're looking around the house, you see a big hole like this. You see a bend in the gable vent. That doesn't happen by itself. Okay. Another pictures of this is bat, most likely bat, where they put the rub marks. Now this is the top of the house. This is the soffit up here. The bats are going under the soffit, and the oils in their skin are making that mark, and that's how you can tell. So if you see black marks underneath soffits and areas around the roof line, could be bats. Bat droppings. Okay, bat droppings here. Now this is a dormer. One of those windows that come out of the attic or the second floor. Those little, everybody loves them. They're very good accent pieces. They make the house have character. But up in here, okay, the contractor for some reason never fully closed them, and bats have a tendency to crawl up in there. All right, and so that's the bat droppings right there. Okay, now when you remove the insulation, that's the bat droppings underneath the insulation. That's the bats are crawling underneath, and they're staying under there. Mice too, by the way. So some of this could be mice droppings. So how do you tell? Mice droppings and bat droppings look the same. Okay, with a gloved hand, you roll it around in your finger. If it breaks up into powder like this, it's bat droppings, because bats only eat insects. Mouse droppings will just roll around in your finger like a ball of rice. Okay, again, more guano, more bat droppings underneath the chimney there. Signs of pest damage that should be deal breakers. Okay, termite damage, hollow sounding wood. You might want to take a little small screwdriver with you. You're knocking on the wood around, buckling floors or mud tubes. I'm going to show you what a mud tube is. On the foundation means termites are quietly eating your investment. Carpenter ants and carpenter bees, you're looking for sawdust piles and smooth holes in the wood. Ants and bees just aren't visiting, right? They're remodeling your house. Rodents can chew the electrical wires. You're looking for droppings, and greasy rub marks along walls are all red flags. Squirrels and bats, scratching sounds. Okay, like I showed you, they're going to chew holes. They're going to bend up your vents on your soffits. They're going to let you know they're there. Okay, signs that you can see. So these are mud tubes. You don't see the termites. Termites are light averse. They're moist creatures. They can't be out in the heat of the sun. They dry up and die, right? So they make what's called a mud tube, and that's what they travel up through. So when they're going in the wood, they're fine. But when they don't find wood and they want to keep going, they'll make the mud tubes like this. So this is the mud tube. So this is a basement sill plate, right? These are termite tubes. That's all. And it's going to be sandy soils as well, dry sand. All right. These are mud tubes. Check this out. They're hanging mud tubes. Okay. I don't know how they made them, if they started from the top and worked their way down, but I'm thinking they started from the bottom and worked their way up, which is incredible. And so you see this, they've been there a long time, right? And this is some of the damage that they cause, totally destroying wood. Here's a windowsill. Again, it's very, very punky, very paper mache type wood. I mean, if you touch this one right here, you would feel it. Like the paneling would be there, but there'd be nothing behind it. Okay. It would just crumble when you touched it. It'd be sure signs of termite damage. Okay. And termites, you're not going to see them. Okay. They're going to be in the walls. They're going to be like I said, you're not going to see them. You can only hope to see some signs like the termite damage, the termite mud tubes. Carpenter ants. Carpenter ants don't eat the wood. Termites eat the wood. Carpenter ants don't. Carpenter ants are just excavating the wood for their galleries, and they're going to put out what's called frass, these piles of sawdust. You might get lucky, and you might see piles of sawdust somewhere. Now, you might see them, and you might think that they're from a contractor, but you can tell the difference because it's a little pulpy, a little bit different than your average sawdust from a drill or a saw, right? And you'll also see the little black specks inside it. Okay, that's little pieces of body parts that they expel from the nest as well, and that's how you'll know it's frass and not just regular sawdust. And these are their galleries, the damage that they cause, and they really cause a lot of damage as well. Carpenter bees. People don't realize carpenter bees are a big problem. Now, they look just like bumblebees, but not really. If you take a good close look, if it doesn't have the yellow on the butt, it's a carpenter bee. All right. Carpenter bees make perfectly round holes. So see this one right here? It's perfectly round hole. And here you can see him actually making the hole. They make it looks like someone drilled a hole in the wood. All right. And they also have these excrement marks in the wood, so you'll be able to tell that they're there. This is how you can find out that they're there, right? So they go up into this little hole, and then they're going to go and they're going to make little chambers like this one. Where is it? Right down here. And they're going to put their larvae in the chambers. Now the chambers, the larvae, when they hatch, they don't go out the way they came in. That's the hole up here. Oh, go back. That's the hole up here that they go in, but they don't come out that way. They're going to come out the side like this. They're going to come right out the side and cause damage. Like all of this is damage on a log home. Up here is all damage on the soffit of them all. This is years of damage right here. Now these are homing bees. They're not colony bees. They're solitary bees, but they congregate in groups and they return to the same place every year to breed. So sometimes it takes 3 to 5 years to get rid of these guys once they're there. I mean, I have great success with them. But you'll see these marks under the house, under the railing, under the siding, under the deck, okay, under wherever there's bare wood, basically, and that's what that is. If you see that, that's carpenter bee damage, okay. Okay, now when you're up in the attic and you're looking around, I don't know if you think you're up in the attic. If you're going to go up in the attic when you're searching for your house, when you're shopping, this right here is a hole, a burrow hole for a mouse. They're going to go through there and they go through the insulation. They love the insulation up there. It's perfectly suited for them to be nesting up there, nice and warm. And you can see the bunch of droppings. That could be bat droppings or mouse droppings. You just have to check it out. All right. Now you got the weep hole. Weep holes are very problematic because they're supposed to let the water out, but they can also let the rodents in. And it doesn't take much of a size of a hole. This is your air conditioner, your air conditioner line. They put stuff around here, but it always falls out. Now this is your garage door. Okay, so you can tell right here there's water damage going on here. So there's puddling going on here, right, when it's raining. But this is a mouse that chewed the side of the garage door to get inside. They're very persistent and they can get under garage doors and they will chew their way through to get through again. And then you can see they're right down in here, a little hole by the door where they're getting in. Foundation here. This is also by the garage door. They're getting in and under the garage door. Okay, so we're going to talk about rodents and mice and rats are escape artists and acrobats. If they can fit their head through the hole, their whole body can get through. So you're going to seal up all your stuff around there, right? So, the lifespan, 1 to 2 years in the wild. They can live longer in captivity. A female mouse can give birth to 6 to 12 babies per litter, and they can have 5 to 10 litters a year. Okay, so you're talking about 100 mice per female a year. All right, crazy amount of mice in a matter of 6 weeks. Okay, so 6 weeks they're having babies. The babies are having babies in 6 weeks. So between having 100 a year, and in 6 weeks those 100 can be having their own 100. It doesn't take long for you to be totally overwhelmed with mice. Okay. Insects, ants, roaches, termites, spiders. Okay, termites and ants will silently eat you from the inside out. Let's talk about them. The carpenter ants are commonly found in wooded areas. Let me see if I need to go through all of this stuff here. Okay, they feed on protein, sugars, and dead insects. Honeydew, they love honeydew, and their host meat scraps and sugary substances. They can be up to an inch, half an inch in length. Queens can be even larger, typically black, but they have some that are different colors, red ones. They have a highly structured colony system. Okay, there can be millions of ants in a colony, and so every 3 to 5 years, the colony will get mature enough that they're going to send out the reproductives. That's the winged males and females. So if you see winged ants anywhere, all right, that's a problem. That means that they've been around for 3 to 5 years. Now they're going to send these winged ants out. They are future queens. They're gonna mate. The males are going to die, and the females are going to go off to start new colonies. That's why you always find a bunch of dead ants. People think, oh, they're all dead. But yeah, the females went off to start new colonies after they mated. You have the potential of having 100 colonies in your house if that's what's going on in your house. They're nocturnal, so you're not going to see them, early morning, late at night. So, the first brood going to be about 100 ants. Okay, they're going to be nocturnal. You're not going to see them. You're not going to probably see them until the second or third year that they're in your house because they're nocturnal. Then all of a sudden they're going to be everywhere. Okay, so you got to take precautions and be vigilant, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, they communicate through pheromones. Okay, which it's incredible that they find food. They let people know that they follow people around. They follow each other around. All right. And they play an important role in the ecosystem, but you don't want them in your house. Remember, it's never winter in your house. People think, oh, it's winter, there's no ant activity. If you have a colony in your house, they're going to be active all year long because you keep your house at 68 degrees, 70 degrees. They love it. They're going to be active all year long. Okay. Never winter in your house. Termites are also highly social. They live in colonies of several million. Okay. Now, sandy soil. You got to do your own research where you are in the country, and if you're in a sandy soil area, okay, you could have 10 colonies per acre in sandy soil. Okay. They're exceptional builders. They complex nests and mounds up to 30 feet high, and that's not in America. That's in other countries. Okay, they feed on cellulose, which is the wood. So they're eating the wood. The queen can live up to 30 years. It's the longest living insect that they know about. Okay, they're on every continent, and they cause millions of dollars of damage to structures every year. Okay. But like I said, they are nocturnal. They're not nocturnal. They are light averse, and they're moist. They have to stay moist. So you're not going to see them running around. Okay, mosquitoes, ticks, stink bugs, pests are like bad relatives. They show up at the worst times. Okay, now this is the thing. Wildlife is squirrels and raccoons. Okay, you're not going to hear thumps in the attic when you're shopping. And pest control prevention status. So mosquitoes and ticks are summertime pests that you have around your outside of your house. Now you're going to be looking around your landscaping for standing water, anything like that. You want to remove anything like that around for mosquitoes. Brush. You want to cut back the brush. Keep everything as low cut as you can. Keep the ticks back. Okay. There are treatments to keep them, off. I'm not going to go through treatments in this class. We're talking about basically IPM, integrated pest management, conducive conditions, what makes the house attractive to pests and how to spot pests, right? So when you're looking around your yard, you're looking at, how is it graded away from your house? Does it have the stone around the house? It used to be everybody had mulch beds around their house, and they had nice bushes and flowers, and they had the nice mulch bed. And the mulch does what it does very well, which is hold moisture. You don't want that up against your house, right? So you don't want that up against your house. So you want to have that little foot of stone around the house, right? Mosquitoes and ticks are summer annoyances, and stink bugs. Winter problem. You might not know you have them until it's too late. And it's another, there's no natural enemies to these fall invaders. They're all foreign invaders, stink bugs, lady beetles and the like, right? Um, you're going to have to hope they're going to be honest with you and let you know that they have these issues. Wildlife, squirrels, raccoons. Well, I showed you some squirrel holes that they're going to be very bold and chew their way right into the side of the structure if they want to. Your wildlife, your raccoons, your groundhogs, your skunks, and stuff like that. They may burrow underneath the deck, underneath the pool, underneath your house or your garage or whatever. Pretty obvious that you're going to see the mound and the hole from the animal. Okay, keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. All right. Now, exterior home inspection checklist. We have a checklist, and I'm gonna make a PDF and have it able to be downloaded. If you want it, if you need it, let me know. Leave a comment, and when I have it ready, I'll email it to you. Here it is, basically the conducive conditions, your moisture problems. You check for leaky hoses and repair. Remove moss. Inspect and fix any leaky pipes. Ensure sump pump is functioning properly. Clean out clogged gutters. Install and repair gutters to prevent moisture accumulation. Eliminate standing water around the home. Eliminate vegetation and debris. So you don't want, a lot of people stack their stuff against the house, like their winter stuff and their summer stuff. They stack it in the winter. You don't want to stack stuff against your house. Okay. Trim overhanging trees touching the house. Keep the vegetation from growing directly against the structure. You don't want it touching the house. Okay. Store firewood and cellulose debris at least 10 feet from the house. Remove all dead tree stumps on the property. Okay. You don't want dead trees on your property. You want to remove all tree stumps. Okay. That's going to just attract termites and carpenter ants. You check for any seals and gaps around the foundation. Inspect and secure vents and gaps around the pipes. Ensure doors and windows close tightly without gaps. Repair cracks in sidings and walls. Now, wood soil contact, right? You got to ensure that the siding does not touch the soil and maintain at least 6 inches of clearance between the siding and the ground. And okay, now ventilation issues. You're going to check the attic ventilation to prevent moisture and mold buildup. So I'll give you a quick one on attic ventilation. There's a few different ways that they're going to, you want your house to breathe. Okay. So they'll either have your soffits will have air intake where it's going to come in your soffits and it's going to go out your ridge cap. So that it's going to have a constant flow of air through your attic so you don't get mold, right? Or it's going to have gable vents on the gable ends where there's going to be cross breeze through there. You don't want both because they're going to fight each other and cause all kinds of problems. But you definitely need some ventilation up there. Check it. Make sure I think you want at least a 3-inch gap in the ridge on the top. And you don't want the insulation stuffed in the soffits. Okay. A lot of times people think, oh, there's a gap up there. Let's push that insulation all the way to the edge. That the part that overhangs the house, you can't have insulation covering that. Okay. So the air's got to be able to come up into the attic through there. Okay. Keep garbage cans covered. Keep kitchen areas, including stoves, can openers, and sinks clean. Okay, whenever there's an issue, and it's always you got to remove competing food sources. Toasters are a big one. You can turn that toaster over. I guarantee there's going to be breadcrumbs falling out of that toaster. Okay, so there's the drain, the sink drain. Okay, the trap in the drain. There's always stuff there. Okay, if you lift the stove top, okay, there's grease and all kinds of stuff under there. You got to get rid of all of that kind of stuff. First of all, insects don't need a lot to sustain, right? And it's just going to attract mice, all right? Declutter the storage areas and reduce pest hiding spots. Eliminate unnecessary food. Identify conducive conditions promptly. Implement sanitation improvements and remove pest harborage areas. Okay. Again, you don't want stuff stacked around the house. Okay. You don't want the table against the house. You don't want the chair stacked against the house. Whatever it is, wood that you're not using anymore, an old fence, whatever, get it off the house. Okay. Interior pest prevention. Okay. So, we do what's called a systematic approach where we have a systematic approach and how we're going to go ahead and put product in place around for pest prevention. It's something everybody needs to do. Either you do it yourself, you hire someone to do it. You need pest prevention. Your house is always under pressure from pests, and it's only a matter of time before they find their way in, whether it be mice, ants, termites, bats, you name it. You're under pressure all the time. Okay. And a clean house isn't only great for guests, it also, keeps the pests from moving in, right? Now, so we got some home buying red flags, spotting pest damage during the home tour. Be on the lookout for termite tubes, rodent droppings, and any strange musty odors. We went through all of this stuff, and you should be feeling much better about yourself right now. Um, and these are questions, okay, that you want to ask the homeowner. Okay, have you ever had issues with pests? Did you treat yourself? Did you use a pest control company? Are there any moisture issues around the house that I need to know about? All right. Just because they use the pest control company doesn't mean you shouldn't buy the house. Everybody has to do something, whether you, like I said, whether you do it yourself or you hire a pest control company, you want them to have prevention at the house. Either whether they do it themselves or they hire someone to do it, you want pest prevention. Okay, eco-friendly, safe pest control. What the Eco-friendly and safe pest control solutions. Okay, natural repellents and integrated pest management strategies help keep pests at bay without using harsh chemicals. The stuff we have today, you don't have to use harsh chemicals at all. Okay, call to action: provide access to pest control. I'm not going to give you any pest control recommendations. Depending on where you live, you can look it up, find out. Get yourself some good stuff. But if you have any questions, you can leave it down there in the comments section, and I'll be glad to go over it. Okay, we're going to do the next course is going to be preventive pest control for the new homeowner. Okay, so look out for that. And we're also going to have a community coming up in the near future where we're going to have live sessions where you can come on and ask questions about pest control. Yeah, so there you go. So that was it in a nutshell, the pest control home buyers course. Okay, so to identify conducive conditions that would maybe stop you from buying the house. Because I know when I first started buying a certain shopping for the house, you're worried about so many things. Termites and carpenter ants, you don't want to have to worry about them, even though they're back there, and you don't want to trust the home inspector. The other thing too is they're only going by a visual inspection. All right. So when they go to the house, there's furniture in the house, there's drapes in the house, there's all kinds of stuff in the house that's going to block the vision of the inspector. Okay. Sheetrock, ceiling tiles, all kinds of stuff. If it's a finished basement, he can't even see the sill plate. All right. And he's giving you an inspection and telling you there's no carpenter ants, no termites in there. And he can't see in there. All right. So, I mean, you really have to be your own inspector. You have to do your own due diligence. You can't trust other people. Make sure you get up in the attic. I tell you, the amount of people that buy houses that actually go into the attic and basement, if it's not a finished basement, very few. Get up in that attic and take a look. You're going to, there could be asbestos up there if you don't go up there and check it out, right? So check this stuff out. Again, leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to add them. That's what I'm looking for. Feedback. What's your biggest fear? What's your biggest question? And let me know, and I can get it into the course. Okay. And that'll be that.